Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Wynna Wong. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. The Consumer Council warns of harmful substances in fish oil. 2 new transport links are set to ease traffic congestion in Tseung Kwan O. And the world population crosses the 8 billion mark. The Consumer Council has warned that an excessive intake of fish oil supplements can damage kidneys and the central nervous system. This follows a test which found that all but one sample contained a potentially harmful organic compound. Janice Lowe reports.
Some people opt for fish oil supplements to improve their health, but the Consumer Council has found that they might be ingesting contaminants at the same time. The watchdog tested 25 samples, all but 2 were capsules. Only 1 did not contain the organic compound 3-MCPD, while 3 exceeded the European Union standard of 2,500 milligrams per kilogram. Tests on animals showed that an excessive intake of 3-MCPD affects the kidneys, the central nervous system, and the male reproductive system. This fish oil exceeded EU standards by 6 times. As one of the 14 samples tested positive for carcinogens, the Adrian Gangen brand contains 15 times more glycidol than suggested by the EU. The Council has referred the brand to the Center for Food Safety for follow-up action. The watchdog also found a high discrepancy in omega-3 fatty acids content, including DHA and EPA. The DHA content among 23 samples ranges from around 31 to 440 milligrams per capsule. This fish oil for children claimed to contain 60.6 grams of DHA per 100 grams, but the actual figure is almost 83% lower. It was also found that the amount of EPA among the capsule samples varied by 50 times. As some samples contained substances that could raise the cholesterol level, the watchdog will step up quality checks to ensure consumers' expectations are met.
We strongly believe that manufacturers really have the responsibility to improve the product. And also, from the regulation point of view, probably we require more surveillance to check the quality and also the safety level of these products in order to ensure that the consumers are well protected.
The public can opt for fish instead to increase their intake of fatty acid, while vegetarians can get algae oil supplements. Janice Lowe, HKIBC.
There's a new twist in the uproar over the playing of a protest song instead of the national anthem at a rugby match between Hong Kong and South Korea in Incheon on Sunday. The Korea Rugby Union reportedly did not receive a recording of the national anthem from the Hong Kong team. Phoebe Choi has the details.
A public relations representative of the Korea Rugby Union told the Korea Times that each team had been asked to submit their national anthems, but Hong Kong did not do so. This contradicted a Hong Kong government statement that Asia Rugby had confirmed the national anthem submitted by the SAR team was the correct one. The Korea Rugby Union apologized after a protest song linked to the 2019 social unrest in the SAR was aired before Hong Kong took on South Korea in the men's final of the Asia Rugby 7 series in Incheon on Sunday. The Korean Union blamed the error on a junior staff member who downloaded the song after an online search, although he was told that China's national anthem is also Hong Kong's. Asia Rugby clarified that an intern had played the wrong music, adding that there was no political motive. Chief Executive John Lee, who ordered police to investigate, vowed to take appropriate action.
It is the organizers' responsibility to ensure that all things are run properly, and this, of course, includes the playing of national anthem of any players who have won the match. So it is the responsibility of the organizers.
Lee's comments were backed up by Wynna Wong, the Honorary Secretary General of Sports Federation and Olympic Committee of Hong Kong. He said there are rules that must be followed in international competitions. The Hong Kong Rugby Union warns that if the correct anthem is not played in any future competitions, the SAR team will pull out immediately. Fifi Choi, HKIBC.
There is good news for Tseung Kwan O residents as 2 long-awaited transport links will open next month to ease traffic pressure in the district. A new tunnel that connects with Lam Tin is expected to divert up to 40% of the traffic in the existing Tseung Kwan O tunnel. Joanna Ho reports.
Starting on December 11th, commuters will be able to use 2 new transport links, the Tseung Kwan O Lam Tin Tunnel and the Cross Bay Link. In the east, the tunnel will connect Potion Road in Tseung Kwan O and the Cross Bay Link. Vehicles can cross a dual 2-lane carriageway of about 2.2 kilometers in length to reach Chao Kuo Ling Road in Kwun Tong, or use a single-lane 0.7 kilometer branch tunnel inside to head directly to the Eastern Harbour crossing. Officials said the traveling distance between Tseung Kwan O Town Centre and the Eastern Harbour crossing will be shortened from around 7 kilometers to 4.2 kilometers. The new tunnel, which opens at 8 a.m., aims to relieve traffic congestion in the Tseung Kwan O tunnel.
Under our estimate, is about 30 to 40% of the original car user of the Tseung Kwan O tunnel will be diverted to the new tunnel.
The new channel, together with the Cross Bay Link, is expected to reduce journey time between Lohas Park and Kwun Tong Town Centre by about 20 minutes during morning peak hours. I am now on the Cross Bay Link, which will be the first road bridge in Hong Kong to feature paths for both pedestrians and cyclists. It will also host the community chess walk for millions this Sunday. 5 new bus routes will start running a day after the 2 new projects open. They include KMB route number 290E, which connects Tseung Kwan O to Tsuen Wan West Station, and NWFB route number 790 to Tsim Sha Tsui. Officials hope to divert 4 more bus routes to the new tunnel shortly after December. Commuters will not be charged for using the new tunnel. The current $3 toll for the Tseung Kwan O tunnel will be waived from the day the 2 new projects open to traffic. Joanna Ho, HKIBC.
The Department of Justice has applied to the Court of Final Appeal to stop media tycoon Jimmy Lai from hiring a high-profile British lawyer for his national security case. This came after the Court of Appeal upheld a lower court decision allowing Timothy Owen to defend the Apple Daily founder. Lai is accused of conspiring to collude with a foreign country and publishing seditious material. The trial is scheduled to begin next month and last 30 days. In a pre-trial review yesterday, Lai's representative revealed an application will be made for a permanent stay of proceedings. President Xi Jinping has continued to meet global leaders at the G20 summit in Indonesia. Some were eager to resume trade with China, and others suggested that Beijing should broker peace between Russia and Ukraine. President Xi Jinping continued to make up for lost time after 3 years away from the world stage. Today, he met French President Emmanuel Macron on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Bali. As important powers within a multipolar world, China, France, and Europe should adhere to the spirit of independence, openness, and cooperation, Xi said. He called on all sides to respect one another's core interests while promoting cooperation and trade. Macron, meanwhile, urged China to promote peace amid the war between Ukraine and Russia. Xi later had an ice-breaking handshake with Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese after years of trade tensions.
We have had our differences, and Australia won't resolve from our interests or our values. But our bilateral relationship is an important one.
U.S. leader Joe Biden, meanwhile, reflected on his historic hours-long chat with Xi yesterday.
I absolutely believe there need not be a new Cold War. I've met many times with Xi Jinping, and we were candid and clear with one another across the board. And I do not think there's any imminent attempt on the part of China to invade Taiwan.
But Biden admitted they came nowhere closer to solving any of their long list of conflicts. Russian President Vladimir Putin stayed away from the Indonesian resort island, but his Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi. Referring to Xi as comrade, Lavrov told Wang he congratulated the Chinese leader for successfully securing a third term. In return, Wang said Beijing opposes any attempts to exclude Russia from the G20. The world population reaches 8 billion today, according to a United Nations projection. The milestone comes just 11 years after the 7 billion mark was passed. Azam Khan reports.
Just 8 countries will account for more than half the global population growth between now and 2050, according to a United Nations report. They include Nigeria. Over the next 3 decades, the West African nation's population is expected to soar from 216 million at present to 375 million, making it the 4th most populous country after India, China, and the United States. India, which currently has 1.412 billion people, is expected to surpass China next year. According to a World Bank report, 600 million people, or 40% of India's population, will be living in cities by 2036, putting extra pressure on the already stretched urban infrastructure and services. Investment of $840 billion will be needed to keep pace with the growing number of citizens. However, after a surge in the mid-20th century, the rate of population growth globally is already slowing down, falling below 1% per year in 2020, in the first decline since 1950. The developing world is expected to face challenges as it struggles to eliminate poverty and provide health facilities and jobs to a rapidly rising number of people. Azam Khan, HKIBC.
Hong Kong's stock rebound continued today, with the Hang Seng Index climbing 4% to a 7-week high. The market is back in bull territory after gaining 25% in recent weeks. Investors were encouraged by a thaw in frosty Sino-US ties and Beijing's move to pull the property sector from the brink. The tech index jumped 7.3%, led by Alibaba's 11% rise. Tencent was not far behind, rising 10.5%. Mainland developers were in demand, with China Vanke climbing 2.5%. But Country Garden, which surged 45% yesterday, slipped 2% on plans to sell shares at a discount to repay debts. A look at the markets now. The Hang Seng Index closed up 723 points. In top 10 active stocks, Tencent was up $27.40. Alibaba was up $7.85. Hong Kong exchanges up $17.40, Country Garden down 6 cents. Signals that the mainland economy is running out of steam have been reinforced by gloomy data for October. Factory output rose 5% from a year earlier and was significantly lower than September's growth. Retail sales were down 0.5 percentage point in the first decline since May, when Shanghai was locked down because of COVID. Real estate investment plunged 16% in the biggest drop in 32 months. But the outlook is brighter after officials unveiled a rescue plan for the sector, which accounts for 25% of the economy. Hong Kong will be welcoming a 14th free-to-air channel next week. Former Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying and iCable Vice Chairman Patrick Tsang were among guests who officiated an inauguration ceremony called Hoi Infotainment. Channel 78 will premiere at 6 a.m. on Monday. A range of news and public affairs programs will line the initial schedule. It will be the third free TV channel under iCable Communications, following Channel 77, which started broadcasting in 2017, and Channel 76 a year later. Finally, the weather. It will be mainly cloudy with 1 or 2 light rain patches tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 22 and 25 degrees. More clouds and a bit of rain with occasional bright periods on Thursday and Friday. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. And that's our main news for Tuesday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Wynna Wong. Good night.